Welcome to Fearless. Oh, wow. This is going to be much harder than I thought. Welcome to Fearless with Jason Whitlock. I am Jason Whitlock, your host. As you can tell, my voice is not in great shape. I'm going to do the best that I can today. One thing you know I hate is making excuses. I don't believe in excuses. I believe in results. And we're going to deliver to you a good show, a great show. I'm going to, but I've lost my voice. I started out, roll call was this weekend. You guys know we've been doing excellent shows and things have been going well for me. You know, 1 meal a day and exercising. Been feeling great. Friday morning at 3 a.m., I woke up and coughed up snot. And this is at 3 a.m. Friday, the day of the first event for roll call. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Roll call starts tonight, and I'm coughing up snot, and my nose is running. And I feel all achy, and I'm like, do I got COVID? What's going on? Didn't have COVID, got through the weekend. It was a struggle. My voice was a struggle the entire time, but roll call was amazing. Friday night was amazing. Steve Byrne was amazing, the comedian. Once I got him to quit cursing, Tucker Carlson was amazing. Randy Houser was amazing. I was okay. Those of you that came, you were amazing. And then Saturday was amazing as well. My voice struggled, but man, did Anthony Walker and Alan Jackson and Pastor Doug Wilson and E.W. Jackson and Corey Brooks, incredible. Damian Horn and his band, incredible. Tamar Conrad, incredible. We had an amazing roll call event on Saturday. And then Saturday night, if you missed the post-roll call party at Lee and Julie Beeman's house, you missed one of the greatest events of the early part of the summer. Are we in the summer yet? But it was amazing. I struggled the entire time with my voice and just not feeling up to speed, but God got me all the way through it. And I thought, on Sunday, I'm going to rest. And by this morning, I thought, I'll be all better. And I'm not quite all better. I feel better, but my voice is still a struggle. And so today, we're going to try to keep it high and tight, rest my voice. We'll talk a little bit about Caitlin Clark. We'll talk a little bit about her game last night with Brazil that was in Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa. We'll talk a little bit we'll spend probably more time talking about this Shiloh Hendrix controversy. If you may not know about it, but I'll unpack it here. About a white woman in Minnesota that's been raising funds to protect herself, allegedly, because, she was. Anyway, I'll unpack that. For those of you that don't know, I'll put it all together and we'll tell you how Umar Johnson relates to all of that. And so we'll get in and get out with today's show. I want to thank our friends at Relief Factor. If you're living with aches and pains, see how Relief Factor, a daily drug-free supplement, could help you feel and live better every day. Give their 3-week quick start a try, only $19.95. Visit relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. No. There will be no complaints. I don't want anybody feeling sorry for me because God has been good to me. We had an awesome roll call. And tomorrow, when I'm feeling better, we'll get into some of the highlights of roll call, and I'll play some of those, talk about some of the things that went on during roll call, particularly during my conversation with Tucker Carlson. We'll play some of that tomorrow. Eventually, if you're a Blaze TV subscriber this week, we'll release the entire roll call weekend for you. And then for those of you that haven't jumped fully on board with us, at some point, we'll release the entire roll call weekend to all of you, but you need to be a Blaze TV subscriber. And so let me handle this while I'm here. Go to fearlessmission.com and become a subscriber to Blaze TV. It's the greatest thing you could do for me. It's the greatest thing you could do for this show. It's the greatest thing you can do to support a culture of winning that we're trying to build in the Christian space. Fearlessmission.com. Use the promo code FEARLESS and save $20 right now on your annual plan, and then you'll have access to everything we did this weekend with roll call. And I'm telling you, it was amazing. It was awesome. I don't, if I had to call it MVP for roll call, and there was a lot of candidates, and I don't want, guess would have to be Tucker Carlson, but Randy Houser gave Tucker a run for his money. And then I think the collection of speakers we had Saturday gave Tucker a run for his money. And then we may have to put up a poll or ask people that were there. And then if you came Saturday night, the party that Lee and Julie Beeman threw for us, and the Duggar Band and their music, and the Duggar Band, they actually played Friday night just as a bonus. They did about 30, 40 minutes Friday night. My friend Neil Thrasher came out of the audience. Neil Thrasher wrote the song Try This in a Small Town. He and some other guys wrote this for Jason Aldean. I didn't even know that Neil was at the Friday night event with Tucker. He didn't tell me. I was just out at Neil's house a couple of weeks ago. He said he was coming, but I didn't know he was coming. He's up on the third floor in the balcony. Randy Houser starts talking about him. And I'm like, Randy, Neil's here? Hey, tell Neil to come on down. Neil comes down out of the audience. Next thing you know, he's on stage with a guitar, and he sings Try That in a Small Town. He damn near sounds as good as Jason Aldean doing it. But it was amazing. But for me, and for those of you that were at roll call, hop in the chat. And if you attended all the events, you tell me what the MVP was. I might go with the Saturday night party at Lee and Julie Beeman's house. Food, Jason Tucker and Kokomo Trading Company from right here in Franklin catered it. Food was amazing. They gave me a turkey leg to take home, but I ate there too. Food was amazing. The hospitality was amazing. The event was amazing. And I'm sorry. All right, let me get to why you're here, why you're here, and let's knock this show out before my voice completely goes out. And I want to make sure I save plenty of time to unpack this Shiloh Hendrix story, because I think it's important. I may bring my voice down a little bit just to try to save it, and so you may have to turn your volume up, because I've turned my voice down trying to make it through this show. But I want to start with Caitlin Clark. She opened, the Fever opened this weekend preseason exhibition play. Caitlin, I think, missed the first game because of concern about her knee or leg or something, some sort of injury. She played in game 2 in Iowa last night. I think she scored 16 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 6 from three-point range. She was typical Caitlin Clark. She hit some like 36-foot three from behind the arc that was incredible. But the real story was how this Brazilian national team that played the Fever, it's the way they received her, the way they celebrated her. It's quite a contrast that these women of color from Brazil and their coach had as opposed to the American players and American women of color and how they treat Caitlin Clark. So I just want to play you this small clip of the head coach of the Brazilian team and an exchange that he had early on with Caitlin Clark. Play the clip.
How are you? Good, how are you?
You're an amazing player. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You changed the history in basketball.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming here and playing us. Most people you've played in front of.
Yeah.
You're changing the history of basketball. You're an amazing player. What you're doing is phenomenal. Celebrating Caitlin Clark. Why does someone from Brazil, who isn't directly benefiting from what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA, why is he celebrating her more enthusiastically than the overwhelming majority of coaches, players in the WNBA? The Brazilian team isn't flying private to games around Brazil or anywhere thanks to Caitlin Clark. WNBA players are, while losing $20, $30, $40 million a year because of Caitlin Clark, they're flying private. They're being treated as stars and celebrities. They're all riding Caitlin's coattails to television commercials, more money than what they're actually generating. They're being treated as superstars because of Caitlin Clark. But it takes a coach from Brazil and it takes players from Brazil to show Caitlin Clark the kind of appreciation and respect that her play and what she's brought to the table deserves. I'm not saying these guys in the WNBA should kiss Caitlin Clark's butt. But we've seen this before. We saw it with Tiger Woods when he hit the PGA Tour. And it wasn't that the PGA Tour was losing money, but after some initial, very slight initial pushback from a Fuzzy Zeller or maybe a handful of other players, everybody in the PGA Tour fell in line and was like, man, look what Tiger has done for us. Look at all this new money and attention that's coming to the game of golf because of Tiger Woods. And so they competed against Tiger, but they all respected Tiger. They weren't trying to tear Tiger down. They weren't running around saying, I'm the real reason, or these white men aren't being celebrated enough. They're only interested in Tiger Woods. And this is an indication of racism. No, the men in the PGA Tour was like, this dude's making it rain money over here. I'm making more money. We're all making more money. We're all bigger stars than we ever have been. And they celebrated, respected Tiger, and competed against him at a high level. No one bent the knee and just kissed the guy's butt. There's a way to handle when a superstar shows up, takes your business, your industry to a new level. We saw it with Tiger Woods and the PGA Tour. We're not seeing it in the WNBA. We're seeing a bunch of women hate on Caitlin Clark. I want to show you this clip of the Brazilian players after the game lining up to get an autograph from Caitlin Clark. Play the clip. This is after the game. These are women of color that don't have a problem with Caitlin Clark. They actually appreciate what Caitlin Clark has brought to the table. They know that Caitlin Clark has been good to them, and they live in Brazil. They're not a part of the WNBA. It's embarrassing what the American women, the entitled American women, the Yas queens of America, the way they've treated Caitlin Clark. You can call me a groupie for Caitlin Clark. You can say, you know, I'm celebrating white supremacy. I'm just speaking hardcore facts, business facts. I'm talking about gratitude and appreciation. When you receive a blessing, and that's what Caitlin Clark has been to women's basketball. If you can't thank Caitlin Clark, at least thank God. Show some form of gratitude instead of hate. This is what people do not like about WNBA players. They're entitled. We should be paid more, even though our league is losing millions of dollars. We should be paid like men, even though we can barely hit, I'm talking about Angel Reese, can barely hit layups. Asia Wilson should be the face of the league, even though no one finds her at 6'5" or 6'4" relatable. She's not as fun to watch or as exciting as Caitlin Clark, and fans aren't showing up to see Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson should be appreciative rather than Caitlin Clark doesn't understand her white privilege. And that's what we like about you, Kelsey Plum. You have white privilege and you recognize it. And you realize it's your job to elevate the black women who carry this league to $20 and $30 million in losses every year. No one's paying to see Brittany Griner tatted up and looking like a man. That's just a fact. No one wants to see Angel Reese miss bunnies and layups. That's just a fact. Angel Reese's entire platform is built off of trolling Caitlin Clark. Thank you to the ladies of Brazil for coming in and showing Caitlin Clark some proper respect. Maybe they'll be role models for the rest of the WNBA. Maybe they'll get it now. That's all I want to say about Caitlin Clark. While I got you here, and before I get into my main topic, and hopefully I'm going to figure out how to lower my voice without having a cough, because I do want to spend some time on this Shiloh Hendrix deal. But before I do that, I want to tell you, you're going to think I'm describing weight loss injections, but I'm not. These remarkable weight loss testimonials came from a doctor-formulated weight loss supplement called Lean. Here's what Patty said. I finally found a weight loss product that works. I wanted to lose 20 pounds, and Lean really curbs my appetite. This is Lori. I've struggled to get weight off, and Lean has been a lifesaver. I've been losing a couple of pounds a week or more. Here's Kelly. Amazing. And I immediately noticed an energy boost and a healthy weight loss in weight. I would promote this product to anyone. Lean, was created by a doctor and university researcher to target the goals of GLP-1s, but without the injections. The study ingredients in Lean have been shown to lower blood sugar, radically reduce appetite, and burn fat by converting it to energy. If you're struggling to lose weight and a healthy diet and exercise isn't enough, Lean is for you. Let's get you started with 20% off. Just use the promo code FEARLESS20 at takelean.com. That's promo code FEARLESS20 at takelean.com. Takelean.com, promo code FEARLESS20. Results may vary. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, and is not a substitute for care from a healthcare provider. Let me lower my voice here. Take another swig here of my drink. Gotta blow my nose. I'm sorry. I am a soldier. I'm going to get through this because it's important. This topic is important. Shiloh Hendrix, white woman from Minnesota. According to this video I'm about to play, she had an encounter with a 5-year-old child where she called the child the N-word, and then a Somali man started recording her and confronted her. And the next thing you know, Shiloh Hendrix is posting on GoFundMe or GiveSendGo, I believe, that she needs financial support because she feels unsafe, she needs security, whatever, and she's now raised maybe $600,000. But let's give you the foundation of this thing that's been debated all over the internet all weekend. Here's Shiloh Hendrix recorded by a Somali man in Minnesota. Play the clip.
Call him a nigger, the child?
The fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child the nigger word?
None of your fucking business.
It is my own business. You call him a nigger? Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you, nigger.
Okay.
Nigger.
All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody dig into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a nigger?
Yeah.
The little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna...
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, a nigger, the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
The ending of that, to me, is the most important thing. We'll see what the internet has to say about that. What have I been talking about on this show? That the matrix, the social media matrix, is stirring the pot for racial division and racial division and racial division. And many of you are like, what do you mean? Shiloh Hendrix called a 5-year-old child the N-word, and he's autistic. And I get it. That's a little private thing that happened on a playground somewhere in Minnesota. Not a national crime. It's rude, inappropriate behavior by that woman, Shiloh Hendrix. Something Shiloh Hendrix needs to repent from. It's not a national story. It's just not. And I don't, what do you mean? This is the fight against racism. Not a fight against racism. It's a fight against rude behavior. That's all that is rude behavior. Is it rooted in some sort of racial animus? Perhaps, but it's just rude behavior. If she had called that child some other name, it's just rude behavior. It's just a word. It doesn't have some amazing, incredible impact on that child. Having been called the N-word, I've had, when I was a kid, having been called, and I know I wasn't autistic, but if I was autistic, it'd probably mean even less to me because I actually recognized what they were trying to convey to me. Doesn't leave lifelong scars. The scar heals up in about 30 seconds if you're in the right mindset. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. In no way am I defending Shiloh Hendrix and her rude behavior. But this ain't a national story. The Somali man, realizing the social media matrix, says, oh, I can turn this into a national story. I can turn this into something where people can make money off of it. And so the NAACP, I believe in, is this in Rochester, Minnesota, I think where this happens? They announce a GoFundMe to support and protect our young children. Let me make sure, because I can't, I'm struggling here a little tiny bit. Let me quit complaining and whining, because I'm really not. But I want to make sure I read this properly. Yeah, here it is. Help us seek justice for a 5-year-old facing racial hate. There's a GoFundMe. Help us seek justice for a 5-year-old facing racial hate. According to what I'm looking at, this has raised $341,000. $341,000 because on a playground, a grown woman shouted the N-word at a 5-year-old. This is a hustle. This is a grift. Comedians use the N-word as a grift. Rappers use the N-word as a grift. Shiloh Hendrix has used the N-word as a grift. Let's put up the graphic. Shiloh Hendrix has raised, I believe, $600,000. Karmelo Anthony has raised $500 and some odd thousand dollars, because I'm going to get to this comparison here in a minute. But Shiloh Hendrix feeling like she's a victim now because the Somali man released this video. She's under attack. She starts to give Sin go. And apparently, a lot of white people have jumped in on support. Oh, this woman's under attack. Let's send her money. So she gets $500,000 or $600,000. And people are running around saying that she called a child the N-word, a 5-year-old autistic child, and has raised $600,000 off of calling a child $600,000. She raised the money because the Somali man taped an encounter he had with her, put it out publicly on social media, and turned her into a target, and people making threats towards her. And so now that she's now become a victim, she can now put up a fundraiser. Hey, I'm under attack. Send me money. And because the social media matrix wants blacks and white people divided, they're trying to stir up this racial conflict. The people that haven't liked the fact that Karmelo Anthony, who stabbed a 17-year-old boy and killed him, they haven't liked that Karmelo Anthony's family they turned themselves into a victim. Keep it. Karmelo stabs and kills Austin Metcalf. He's the perpetrator of a crime. The parents that raised Karmelo Anthony put themselves on the cross. Oh, we're getting threats and our safety is in jeopardy. Send us money so we can buy a new house, move to a new neighborhood, take care of ourselves, feed ourselves. They turn themselves into victims. Black people run out, or people run out, and give them $500,000 because they turned themselves into a victim. Their son committed a violent crime and took someone's life. They transform themselves into a victim. People start sending them money. Shiloh Hendrix does a rude behavior crime. The Somali man puts out the video. Shiloh Hendrix basically says, hey, I'm a victim. I did a rude behavior crime, but now people are attacking me. I've been doxxed. People are going after me. Send me money. This is the same thing on both sides. How can I have some sort of racial conflict, turn myself into a victim, and profit off of it? This is the insanity that's being promoted over social media. Shiloh Hendrix isn't a victim. Karmelo Anthony's family isn't a victim. The victims are those of you that keep falling for this racial division grift and are choosing sides based on skin color and are trying to come up with false equivalents, because the people and there are people out there that are acting like Shiloh Hendrix calling this 5-year-old child a name, the N-word, is the equivalent of Karmelo Anthony stabbing and killing a 17-year-old boy. It's a false equivalency. The only equivalency here is people turning themselves into victims for money. Perpetrators of rude behavior in one sense and murder in another sense, have turned themselves into victims to raise money. We got to quit supporting any of it. The people sending Shiloh, I do want to be crystal clear on this. The people sending Shiloh Hendrix money, they're not motivated because, great, she called someone the N-word. They're motivated by, hey, we want to do something to show how fed up we are with the Carmelo Anthony situation, how fed up we are with these racial double standards that seem to be in place. And so she's not raising money because, oh, people are happy she called a 5-year-old the N-word. She's raising money because people are tired of the Carmelo Anthony grift and people apparently appearing to defend the murder of Austin Metcalf based off of racial alliance. I'm going to go a cut deeper here. I want to play you something from Dr. Umar. But before I do that, I want to remind you all once again that so many of you living with everyday pain think that they're just stuck with it. It is what it is, but it doesn't have to be that way. Let me tell you about Stanley and his Relief Factor story. Stanley had seen TV ads for Relief Factor more times than he could count, but for some reason was skeptical about trying it. Finally, his leg and back pain won out, so he gave in and ordered. After just 1 week of taking Relief Factor, his pain eased up dramatically. He even started sleeping better. Now Stanley says this stuff is incredible, and of course, he wishes he had started it sooner. If you're living with aches and pains, see how Relief Factor, a daily drug-free supplement, could help you feel and live better every day. Give their 3-week quick start a try. It's only $20. In a few weeks or even a few days, feel the difference Relief Factor can make. Don't feel stuck living with pain. Visit relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. I want to play you Dr. Umar. He's jumped in on this Carmelo Anthony grift and has concocted some sort of defense of Carmelo Anthony. Let's play shot number 4.
Hunter and Austin tell Carmelo, you're under the wrong tent, get from under the tent. Carmelo says, I'm just trying to stay dry or get dry, leave me alone. Hunter, rest in peace, smacks the phone out of Carmelo's hand. He smacks the phone out of his hand, and the other brother, Austin, allegedly, goes to get his book back. Now, Art, I want to put this in perspective for you, Art. Carmelo Anthony is 160 pounds. Rest in peace, Hunter is 225-pound football player. Hunter is nearly 60, 70 pounds heavier than Carmelo by himself. But he was not by himself, Art. Hunter was with his brother Austin. Austin is around Hunter's size as well. If I'm a 160-pound black boy, 2 white boys in racist Texas, both of whom are 60 to 70 pounds heavier than me, they come to accost me physically, knock my phone out my hand, try to grab my bag, try to throw me out. The media is making you think it's only one. But guess what, Art? I've been text messaged by eyewitnesses. I have received text messages from eyewitnesses. And you know what they told me, Art? They said both brothers tried to jump Carmelo. In the state of Texas, Art, you have the right to stand your ground. You know what that means? That means you have no duty to flee when you are approached by somebody trying to harm you. In the state of Texas, you do not have to run. In the state of Texas, if somebody is approaching to harm you, you have no duty to run. And if you feel that your life or safety is in imminent danger, you have a right to defend yourself, to include using deadly force. And let me say this, Art. People are talking about why did he have a knife? He's a black man in Texas. Why wouldn't he have a knife? Are they crazy?
So, let me connect the dots for those of you that have been following the show and my conversation about Karmelo and this situation and how I believe it's the stick of dynamite with the long-running fuse that they hope, in my view, is going to spark violent racial conflict. And so this fuse is being lit, and it's burning. And I believe, and maybe, hopefully I'm wrong, but I believe Umar Johnson here is part of lighting the fuse. And he's, in my belief, he's being used, set up, another tool, maybe another useful idiot here that's being set up to spark this racial conflict. Maybe his inside information is right. First time I'm hearing his story, his narrative of what happens. I don't believe it. I don't believe what Umar is saying. I don't believe that's the actual narrative. I'm willing to be proven wrong. And I wouldn't be bothered if I am proven wrong. But I find it fascinating, and I said this a couple of weeks ago at the very beginning of this. We live in a cell phone society. I read police reports where they said the cell phones, there was video evidence of what transpired here. I think one of the law enforcement officers at an early press conference was asked, and someone's, no, it was Dominique Alexander of the Next Generation Action Network, said that he was told there's video evidence of what transpired. And so I believe all of these different things, from Shiloh Hendrix, again, it's not that they're orchestrated, they're actually organic and they happen, but they're all being used and put in place, and the algorithms favor them and turn them into big stories because they're trying to stir racial division. And at some point, they're going to release the video of what happened to Austin Metcalf. And I think they believe that's going to be the spark. And it's been, I said it from the outset, that my belief, this is off my journalistic instincts, that when that video is released, it's going to be so one-sided and look so bad for Carmelo Anthony and the people that supported Carmelo Anthony. And it's what they want it to be is as triggering as the George Floyd video was in 2020. When people saw that video, particularly without any context, George Floyd and the drugs he had ingested, without all the resistance of police early on, and you just watched that final 8 minutes, it was so triggering. Out of context, it was so triggering that we had the summer of George Floyd riots, the summer of love in honor of St. George Floyd. I believe this video is intended to trigger white people and to so repulse them that they just say, man, all these black people that done supported Carmelo Anthony, this media that wouldn't tell us the truth about this Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf, this media that has imposed this racist double standard. This is the line in the sand. We've elevated this Carmelo Anthony. This is in my view, from afar, and maybe I'm wrong, and I will not be bothered if I'm wrong, but this seems so simple. 17-year-old boy sitting under a tent, someone asks you to leave, you get static from another 17-year-old, maybe a punch should have been thrown, or two. But stabbing in the heart, this is cold-blooded murder. This is a simple case of someone overreacting to a verbal conflict. A simple case, I feel disrespected let me overreact. We've seen this play out in urban communities time and time and time again between teenage boys. I'm disrespected, I shoot and kill you. I'm disrespected, we beat you into a pulp and you die. This is what goes on. The only thing different here is it's in the suburbs in Frisco, Texas, and it's a black boy doing what young black boys have been doing to other young black boys for years. And when the video gets released, people will be like, I want no parts of that behavior. I want no parts of people that have tried to defend that behavior. I want no parts of the people that concocted, fabricated narratives around what happened here. And so I feel like what we just heard from Dr. Umar Johnson was just another piece to the puzzle of stirring this Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf pot to a point that it bubbles over and explodes, and there's some sort of racial conflict that happens in the Dallas and the Frisco, Texas area, and they're hoping that it spreads and that it so hardens the hearts of white America that the entire desire to achieve any type of racial harmony in America disappears. And if you listen to the leftists, what do they want? Segregation. They've been talking about, college campuses have been having segregated graduation ceremonies. They want us to separate. They want us to take on these surface level identities, black and white, and separate. They don't want you leaning into a true identity, your religious faith, your country of origin, and your language. They want us divided along racial lines. This Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf story is a big part of them trying to promote segregation through violent racial division and discord. Shiloh Hendrix, just another piece in the puzzle. Given all the race idolaters on the black side, their excuse is, hey, look how bad white folks are. They're supporting this white woman who called a 5-year-old child the N-word, and now they've raised $600,000 for her. They want the white nationalists, the Jake Langs and all those people, the white nationalists, the white people that that don't want to submit to a biblical worldview, the Nick Fuentes's of the world. They want that group to choose violence and separation rather than Jesus Christ, a biblical worldview, and Christians standing together and demanding that both of these extremist groups be shut down, be exposed as the frauds that they are, and for us to reimpose, reinstitute a biblical worldview that is about what's your religious faith, what's your country of origin, what's your language. Those are our true identities. And those of us that believe Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, we should be looking for allies who believe Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior. Entire messaging around roll call this weekend, from Friday to Saturday night. Those of you that were there, we had a beautiful experience. We were a symbol of what you enter Jesus Christ. If we center anything else, they're going to win. The Carmelo Anthony defenders, the Shiloh Hendrix defenders, they're going to win. Our only path is through a biblical worldview. I know some of you are non-worldview. I know some of you are non-believers. And some of you came to roll call, and I'm glad you did. It's our only path. Nothing else works. This country was founded on those principles. Constitutions normally last 70 to 100 years. Why has the American Constitution lasted 250 years? It's biblically founded. Why is the American Constitution under attack? Because it was biblically founded. That's all the voice I have today. I apologize. I'm going to try to do better tomorrow. Thank you so much. I will ask, seriously, for your prayers. Again, I just want my voice back because there's a bunch of stuff I want to deliver to you guys that's important. I want to celebrate roll call. And so I'm asking for your prayers as it relates to my voice. Thank you so much. We'll play tomorrow, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Waiting for the countdown, coming off the breakdown, standing in line for freedom. Looking for a breakout, feeling like a standoff, nothing in life like freedom. Came like a fighter, striking like a ladder, making all this moves for freedom. I want freedom. No negotiation, my sister, no relation. We all just wanna have freedom. Sitting on a corner, never been alone. I'm breaking my back for freedom. Blessed, we are living, get back. We are receiving, no deceiving. We all wanna be free. We want freedom. I wanna be. I just